Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. What's going on?
Happy Saturday. We're so excited about today's guest. Woo!
Let me tell you. Okay, so I just want to go and introduce him. But we got to at least introduce the show. So I'm sorry. We're just like overwhelmed right now. Okay. So anyway, it's Saturday, another day in the life of an entrepreneur, and I'm your host, Rose McDonald of McDonald Bookkeeping, and I am here with
Shamara here with SWHR Consulting. Look, she can't even stop blushing. Can we get on with the show?
Okay. So first, because I'm a little warm. So, and anyway, but okay. So first, let me just say to all of our listeners on all of our pod that listen, they keep coming back for more. Thank you wherever you're listening. iHeart, Spotify, or I don't know. We're on a lot of them, but you know what? Even though we can't see you, we just love you because you keep coming back to our show. So hey. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna let Shamara do the introduction because, so before that, let me just tell you first this. So I first saw him actually on if you remember Soul Man, the TV show. So yeah. I saw him on there, and he always looks fresh shaven. Like I've seen him on a lot of things. I'm like, this dude is like on everything, right? Because I watch all these different shows. We're just gonna go over. We're gonna give you his list. But I'm like, he is on everything. Okay. So, and he always looks freshly shaven. And I'm like, well, he's a good looking guy. And I like women. So, for those who don't know, my choice. But anyway, I'm like, I'm gonna follow him. So I started like kind of researching because I do my homework, Shamar, and people. I do my homework, Okay, so go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Well, let's dive into introducing our guest today because this crazy lady is like blushing all day today. We have Scotch Ellis Loring. He has been in the art and entertainment industry for almost 30 years.
He's 25.
I know. His first professional job on TV was Tootie, Suitor on The Facts of Life. So I hope that gives you guys a little bit of a hint of who it is. Yeah. So Scott has enjoyed really a successful career as a singer, songwriter, spanning from musical theater, television, film. He's done 2 solo albums, produced and sang something called Original Scotch and Standard Scotch. So we're so excited to have him come on the show. He's going to tell you more about his whole career path and everything that he's done in the industry, in the entertainment industry. So we want to know. Let's bring Scott on the line and let's get him going.
Yeah! Woo! Hey!
First of all, you guys are adorable. And Shamara, it's Scotch, not Scott.
Oh my gosh. You're right. It is Scotch.
But wait.
Okay.
Listen. I love knowing who I'm talking to. And it's Tootie from The Facts of Life, which you've probably never seen because you're 12 years old.
Yes. I'm so young. So I'm so sorry. I tried my best.
What does that say about me then? What does that say about me?
You got it right. But I'm not clean shaven, so I felt kind of bad. I thought maybe I should go cut this off.
No, you look great.
Hey, first of all, congratulations on your over 800,000 what is it? Viewers, subscribers, whatever.
We're trying to hit the 1 million listeners on our podcast. We're trying. We're really trying.
I mean, that in of itself is quite an accomplishment. So I think eventually we're gonna have to turn this interview around and talk to you guys to see how you guys got to this point, because it's not easy.
Well, I am pretty attractive.
That is true. That is true. Both of you are. I love this. I love it. I love very much that. I don't know. I'm a lot of people might say this, but I appreciate superficial things. I appreciate physical beauty as well as everything else. But I love that I'm talking to two very beautiful women right now. And you're delightful.
We want to talk about you, dude, because okay. So, as I said, I first saw you on Pullman, and I didn't know you could sing because on that episode, you weren't really supposed to sing.
Yeah. You know what happened? I auditioned, and they asked me to sing well, and they asked me to sing poorly. And when we got in front of the audience, I sang well, and the audience burst into applause. So the director, Mr. Lathan, came up to me and said, "Could you not sing that well?" Because they were supposed to shame me. But I was kind of surprised that the live audience, sort of enjoyed it. So then I had to dumb it down a little bit. But some people still were like, "Wow, I didn't know you could sing." And I'm not really singing in that, because the Braxtons, the two Braxtons were in that little room I come out of. It was the size of a closet. We are squeezed together. But if I sang too well and they came out saying well, it wouldn't work. So yeah, but it was fun. It was really fun. I love that job. Got to work with Kim Coles again. And I was counting. She and I have done 3 or 4 episodes of television. Just we happened to land on the same episode. So fate kept bringing us together, just like me and you.
Now, that's what I was watching that too. I just had to put that on the screen. So for everybody who, in case you're unfamiliar, they just have to know a list of everything you've done. I'm sorry. I mean, it's as if I'm talking about myself. So you have done so much. I think I told you I kind of stalked you a little bit, just a little bit.
I love that. I love being stalked. Yeah.
And so you've done so much. Can you tell us, really what led you to your career choice of acting? Because I think you should do Broadway. Let's get to that. But
also, this is my bad. It says almost 30 years. I've actually been working almost 40 years, which is sort of difficult to admit. But my first job, that show that I did on Facts of Life, I was 19 years old. So if you do the math, you'll see how long I've been around. And I'm one of 7 kids. And so we each had our own little specialty, but I remembered I used to go into the bathroom, and I don't know why. I didn't know I was planning, but I won't show the pride, but I used to go in for the mirror and go, "Crest, it's the best." Or I'd make up commercials all the time. I never thought, wow, one day I want to grow up and be an actor. Although part of me thought it was a likelihood. It's the only thing I was excelling at in school. But I came out to Los Angeles hoping to work, but I never thought that I would actually get hired, and I did. So.
But why acting? Why was that what made that be your choice in career? What did you do before that? Is it something that you just always knew you wanted to do though?
Right. Well, I was a model. My father was in the Air Force, and when he retired, we ended up in Fresno, California. So in high school, I ended up being the high school DJ, and I was given the thanks, Jeremy. I was given I didn't know that would happen. I was given the high school DJ position as a junior, which was really politically upsetting to most of the seniors because they vied very heavily to become the high school DJ. And so I got that job, and that started my career. My 3 older brothers, who are all bigger than me, excelled in sports. But I got my letter in high school in competing in what's called forensics, which was, like the debate team. But I was the only one on the team in my high school. So I was embarrassed at first because I wasn't athletic, but I did win awards and did quite well debating and competing, and even won modeling competitions. But I'm not that tall. So I didn't have a modeling career waiting for me in Los Angeles. I had an on-camera career waiting.
So this might be personal. So I think now in entertainment, or the industry is getting more comfortable with people in different lifestyles. I see that now you're seeing it more of mixed races as well as same-sex couples. So was it harder for you?
You know, here's the hardest part for me, and this is interesting, and I share this with another friend of mine who's an out actor. We experienced more difficulty with gay casting people than we did with casting people who may or may not have been aware of our relationship or our status on the spectrum, right? So I've been out since high school. I've either had a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, or a husband the entire time, and I've let that be known to my people. So I've never really been in the closet. But if I meet someone socially, like a casting director, they would tend to only then start calling me only for gay roles. And I've never really gotten to play I've played maybe 2 or 3 gay roles, and I'm dying to play gay roles because I find them very fun. So my difficulty has been more with people thinking that I can only play a certain type of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with my presumed education. People think I'm a college graduate. So I rarely ever got cast as somebody who didn't have an education. I rarely ever got the thug. Because I'm basically a character actor. I always was called in for the doctor or the non-threatening love interest or the. I never really got to be anything other than. And this is something I want to point this out. This is something because of the way that I look. I didn't get to play black roles. And I didn't understand that for a while, and I started to take it personally. I auditioned more for NYPD Blue as a thug or a gangster, all this, and didn't get that more than any other show. And I kept thinking, well, why do you keep calling me in for this? Call me in for the lawyer if you don't see me as that. Because even I would not have cast me in some of these roles, looking at my contemporaries who were physically more, at least even bigger than me, or appeared to be somebody that could fit the role more, but I never got those. I always was in the running if it was sort of the non-threatening person of color. You know? Now, I felt bad about that at one point, but now I find that to be like, I understand that's my lane. You know, I don't mind being called in to play the doctor or to being called to play the lawyer, because the person that's only being called in the thug, they're having the same experience at the opposite end of the spectrum. Why can't they come in and play these roles? I mean, it's just a whole give and take, you know? There's one of the best examples right there of not getting it twisted, Miss Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
You think you know what you've got when Tiffany walks in the room, but you have no idea. That woman her talent is so broad. Yeah, and even Kim, I force Kim, because I've directed Kim, I've forced her to do drama, to take the comedy out of some of her performances, because that's her lane and she feels very comfortable there, and she knows that people accept her that way, but she's a wonderful dramatic actress as well.
So do you think there is such a thing as typecasting?
Absolutely, there's such a thing as typecasting. The beauty of what's happening today is that a lot of that is getting shattered. You know, I was thinking about what advice I had for someone today, and the real key is authenticity, like finding your niche and just really doing it, because of the platforms that exist today. You can't say, I need this, I need that, because you see people who are doing TikTok. My husband just told me that I have not seen her, but some woman who does Trump just got signed to WME. Hey, Kevin. That's my Emmy Award winning friend, Kevin Syreeta. Yay, Kevin. So he's another example of doing something for yourself. You create the content for yourself and you put it out there and you have no idea what's going to happen with it. So typecasting still exists. It will always exist to a certain extent, but that shouldn't clip anybody's wings who's feeling like they're a specific type. Look at music. Look at Lizzo. You know, there used to be a type in music, or a sex symbol songstress in music. Lizzo busts all the molds, and you know, I dare anybody to argue that.
So, since you sing, I'm sure you didn't prepare anything.
I did.
No.
Oh, I wish I would have prepared something.
It would be lovely to get like a little piece of some, you know, like I know. I mean, you don't have to.
But
Say what you're gonna say, Rose. Either ask him or don't ask. What are we doing here?
I mean, I'm trying to get it all while he's here.
Yeah, I don't have anything prepared. I don't even know. You know, I have a friend. His name is Pete Fitzgerald, and I adore him. And a lot of people thought that's what this was. Like I was going to be singing, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not singing. I'm not singing. But you know, who knows? Maybe I'll do it.
Have you ever thought of Broadway? Or because you're very versatile.
Right.
Have I thought of doing Broadway?
Or theater? Because that's, to me, I mean, it just seems to be like that's what you should be doing.
Well,
Theater.
I've always done everything. So one of the other pieces of advice that I used to give a long time ago when I was exposed to a lot of younger people was, you know, what should I do? And I said, just be prepared to do everything. If you're not working on TV, jump on stage, do an equity waiver show, do something. So I have done Teddy. I've done a lot of theater and I've done a lot of musical theater. And I am part of the original company of Jelly's Last Jam, which we did down at the Mark Taper with Oba Babatunde, Freda Payne, Tanya Pinkins, Ruben Santiago Hudson. I'm part of that original cast. The problem is that your boy here is self-taught with everything. So the dancing was extremely challenging, but I loved it. So when we went from the Mark Taper Forum, our journey to Broadway, which would have been my first opportunity to be on Broadway, they recast 2 roles. One of them I was the understudy for, and it was challenging enough, but they recast the lead with Gregory Hines, and they recast the role I was understudying with Savion Glover. Which meant I was going to have to learn, and by the way, the choreography went up with those 2, way up. And I said, I'm out. And they bought me out on the way to Broadway. So they bought my contract out, and some other lucky person got to play that role in that show. I've toured. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so what was one of your favorite roles in your career thus far?
Ever? This is very easy because I have my favorite week on a set was on Frasier.
I love Frasier.
Working with Kelsey Grammer, and the cast on that particular show was fantastic. Also, one of the very few times I got to play a non-apologetic gay person. Had a boyfriend and everything. It was lovely. Anyway, that's one thing. But my favorite role ever is a role I took a risk and could have lost. And that was with Kim Coles in her show. She called it her one-woman show with testosterone because there was her and 4 men, called Homework. And we got to I played about 9 different characters. And but my favorite character at the audition, I read the sides. I'm like, it was a lisping, bent wrist, black queen. And I said to her, upon meeting her, and the director, who's Charles Randolph Wright, who went on to do Motown and his original Dreamgirls cast member, prolific director these days. I told them on my way from picking the sides to standing where I was going to do it, I hope this character redeems itself. I can't believe you've written this a character that's so, you know, so typical and stereotypical and in this day and age, you know. And then I turned around and I did this character and I wore him out. I got the show and it was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. This character and this show and this cast was a dream come true because it was my Carol Burnett experience. They let us break the fourth wall. So there were times when this character, Derek, who was a makeup artist, was getting ready for a fashion show, and I was talking to Kim, telling her, you know, get dressed. And, oh no, Miss Thing, you will not wear that skirt, honey. Oh no, you're, you know, and I would just get really crazy, but she let me call people out from the audience into the show. And one night, Queen Latifah was in the house, and she said, could you please get Dana with the character? So, you know, everybody knows Latifah's real name is Dana. And I was like, oh, Miss Dana. Oh no, honey, please. Your legs so ashy look like you've been kicking flour, honey. It's called lotion. Discover it. And Latifah has a beautiful laugh. And she gave it to us that night. And I've just, you know, that character in a show that I thought I was settling for, an equity waiver, non-union show, was a 5-year experience that took us all the way to off-Broadway, Soho. I had so much fun with that show. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about being a spontaneous actor, and the fact that they had enough faith in us to let us sometimes just riff, just go off, do what we wanted. So yeah, Sean Baker from Living Single was also a cast member, Gustavo Rex, and Wolfgang Bodisu.
Is there a part that you haven't done that you would like to do, like like a villain, or, you know, I don't know, a 007 kind of character or something?
No. No, you know what? This is gonna sound it's interesting because my husband and I we have triplets.
I saw.
Yeah. They're 10 years old and they're the most important thing to me. And I honestly, because I watch what they watch. The last audition I had that I really wanted was to play a principal on a Disney Channel show where I knew that my kids could watch this show and I didn't have to worry about the content. I really wanted to just be that guy on the show that they really, really liked. And they like what I consider very silly shows, but I like seeing the joy that it brought them. So I don't need to shoot a gun. Listen, my gun shooting dream came true when I did a movie called K911 with Jim Belushi.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It was the best. The director, I don't know why, Charlie, he liked me and he said, you can have this role or you can have this role. I guess I was in early, but he really liked me. That's never happened to me. And one role was a burglar who was under house arrest who got shot in the ass. And I said, I'm not having anyone do makeup on my ass. We're not. And the other one is a money launderer who gets to shoot. I said, does he get to shoot a gun? He said, yeah, he gets to shoot the gun once. So between saying yes to the role and shooting, it ended up being, I had like the most incredible weapon I've ever seen, never seen one since, on the set, shooting a shootout with Jim Belushi, and the scene ends with me aiming a rocket launcher at him and blowing up his car. And I just felt like it can't get any better.
Top of the world.
Yeah, it was wonderful. More dangerous than I thought. I had no idea. A piece of the car about this big flew over my head about 20 feet and landed near the production team. I didn't even know it happened. That's how quickly the car exploded. But they had me protected with plexiglass, or whatever that would have been worth. But yeah, I'm not missing anything. It's crazy cliche, but my favorite role right now is husband and father, and I do love working with other people. So I'll work as long as the work is there, but I don't have and I think it's important to know that I want to do something else, but nothing is coming to the surface at the moment.
That leads to the next question. It seems like more actors, actresses are leaving the industry after having children and doing other ventures. I mean, if they're not owning restaurants or clothing line or makeup line, or it's some other profession other than acting, some product or something. And it seems to be the norm almost now.
I think it's been around quite a bit, and I think social media is making it clearer that that is part of some of the career paths that people take. Here's the thing. I was thinking part of my challenges is that I'm good. I have a great life. And so my career used to be, I wanted to succeed to take care of my mother, to make sure that my mother never needed something that I couldn't provide her with. That was my goal. So my goal changed for a while of what it was that I wanted to do. But okay, all right, okay, Pete, I will, Pete, I will. Did you see that? You saw that?
So now you have to do it. You have to do it.
Oh my God. Okay. If I don't, he'll never let me live it down. But I just want to say that more about the expansion of entrepreneurs in the industry. You will always see people like Tracee Ellis Ross who finally decide, I'm going to go ahead and do my hair thing. But that's based on her life as someone with mixed race hair and wanting to see something that was out there for her. In addition to succeeding as a performer. So just for example, I have a business partner. Her name is Dusty. I adore her. We have some real estate investments, and we've done very well with that. I've never just done one thing. Like I said, when I gave advice to actors, I said, if you can't do this, do this, do this, that. So I have that. I also have, and you would not have been able to discover this very well, I have a voice ADR business, 15 and a half years. My partner, Jenny Lunabus, and I have a company called Scotch and Walla. And what we do is we supply live background acting to scenes in TV shows and films. So we've been doing that for, I think, maybe 17 years actually. And that is a side business that some people retire on. I have associates that are six-figure actors who do voices on shows like CSI and then run across town and go get another $1,000 check for working 2 hours on another series, and then they get residuals on that on top of the ones that, I mean, it's a really lucrative business. So that's two for me. I've got the real estate, I've got my voice acting side business. I produce young singers. I've got music that I put out in license. I would love to have a t-shirt company like these guys, Minorities, and just something that actually keeps me home with the family, believe it or not. What's that?
I said, I love that. Family focused.
She is so pretty.
So is that your family behind you in that photograph?
No.
I'm sorry, what? Yes. Which time? Yeah, that's them. Here, let me just rip this little thing off the wall. So this might work. So that's, where's the camera? That's the husband.
Look at the kiddos. They're so cute.
How do I do that? Oh, this is so
really,
weird.
really cute.
Oh my God, so adorable.
So she came out first, second, and third. So I don't know if you can tell where the DNA fell.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a 4.5 year journey trying to get them on this planet, and then successfully got them here. So, I'm actually trying to think of what to sing. So
it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. not that.
So why do you think on a song like in your career, especially for young and up and coming actors, you mentioned that you do quite a lot of like mentoring or kind of helping them pretty much succeed in the industry. So what are some of the tips and tricks that you do share with them, just so if anybody's out here listening now, that they can take to kind of continue to push forward in this entrepreneurship lifestyle in the entertainment industry?
Today is, I mean, it's silly, but today is like no other day. Even as early as a year and a half ago, I was talking to a panel of students, and my friend Tim Lunabis brought on a director who at the end of our meeting said, if you have this and you're not making a movie, if you're not making content and you have this, then basically shame on you. Ooh, that's my girl Rain. We have to talk about Rain. We have to talk about Rain Pryor at one point. So my advice to people, because a friend of mine, Jeremy, who just popped on and said some very nice things about me. He has got, oh boy, I'm gonna look it up so I can give you the exact name of it. He is doing a series on Instagram, and each episode is 1 minute long. And it is, it's just, there's no reason why this kind of opportunity should be missed by somebody that wants to create content. I'm sorry, I just really want to push him because I really am proud of him. Okay, I love it. It's the show itself is called Hidden Canyons, but his the Instagram is 1 minute gay soap. 1 minute gay soap. Each episode is just a minute long, and because he's in the industry, he knows how to hold a camera or light it or do whatever. But I want to tell people it's so easy to just make a movie or make content here and then just start uploading it. I'm the worst at promotion, but I have the best ideas, and one of them led to Faux Show, and I'm very proud of that. What are you doing? Oh, Jeremy Glazer, yo! Oh, look at that. So, yeah, he's actually one of my favorite voice. There it is. He's also one of my very favorite voice actors to work with. We have lots of fun. So, yeah. Oh, and that is the director and producer, also Brant, and star. But you guys watch the 1 minute gay soap, and that should be inspiring for you. Quibi right now, they love 1 minute series. It's entirely possible. Theirs has a high quality of I love this show because of the actors on it. It's a diverse cast, and it's kind of smart. It makes me mad because I want so much more, which is interesting that this show. Oh, hey, now we're getting into some other stuff.
Wait, let me say this, okay, Jeremy. Why do all the gay guys have to take off their shirt? That's all I want to know. Anytime I go to a function, they always take off their shirt, and I'm just like, are you guys required to work out?
Mad, like, yeah, because I'm just like.
Wait a minute, I'm looking at that one. I'm looking at that picture of Brant and Jeremy. This is why they take it off.
Right.
I'm just saying, even when I've gone to festivals, I'm like, they all got the shirt off. What is going on?
Because we're trying to open it up so that you can do the same thing.
Oh. Well, they don't want me to do it. Okay, I just want to make sure we haven't avoided the whole singing thing, right?
Yes. Okay, love you, Kevin. All right. Yeah. Okay. I met that guy in a we did a musical at the Tiffany Theater, To Sir with Love. The Tiffany Theater doesn't even exist anymore on Sunset Boulevard, but we had a wonderful director named Ken Page. People are thirsty. Yes, that is right, Jeremy. People are thirsty, and it's our job to give them a drink.
Right. I love it. Hey, I'm gonna quote that.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So
in your career, like, I know that you talked about, what was one of your favorite roles, but what were some of the challenges that you faced in the industry? For people that are becoming that may be going through the same struggles and, trying to fight the same battles. So what are some of the challenges that you faced, but you were able to overcome as you been doing and keep going in the industry?
One of my personal challenges was understanding the business part of it. Like, I'm very good at I'm good at ideas and I'm good at being creative, but I didn't take enough interest in the business aspect of my career. That's one of my favorite pictures of myself ever. Okay, so I don't know why I love that picture, but I do. I didn't understand. For example, I was doing an equity. Once again, I was doing a big musical at the Denver Theater Center. Suzanne Douglas was my co-star. We did a show called House of Flowers, and I also did South Pacific there. I got a contract, I signed the contract, I did the contract, and I found out from the other actors that during the rehearsal period that you're not contractually obligated by the equity union to pay the full 10% during the rehearsal period. My agent never mentioned that to me. He took the 10%. When I brought it up, he was not willing to give it back to me. And I just thought, well, I just need to pay a little bit more attention to the business part of the business. It's, here's something else that this is probably the last piece of advice I used to give to people. If you haven't shaken hands with the process, meaning it's going to take time, you're going to work, you're going to get hot, it's going to get cold, cold, cold. You're going to feel like you've done very good, then you're going to feel like a failure. It's a back and forth industry. You have to shake hands with the process, which means don't fight it. Okay, I heard that this was coming. Here it is. So how do I surf this until we get to the next job? How do I make myself feel as worthy as I do when I'm on a set? Being on a set is lovely. Being cast, knowing that if you're competitive, knowing that you won the role is terrific. But you have to be able to handle the losses. And the first way is by not making them so dramatic and knowing that they're not the end all. So I would give that advice to a young person to really, you don't have to be in SAG to learn about SAG. You don't have to be in the union to understand what union rules are. There's plenty of USC, UCLA, there's plenty of opportunities to get cast in things and learn about the industry. But I remember once somebody telling me, oh, I don't want to be and I love this. She's like, oh, I don't want to be a commercial actor. I don't. And I thought, you've done nothing. You got nothing going on in your life. Zero. You don't even understand how much money you can make with one commercial, but you're going to wait tables and tell me that you don't want to be known as a commercial actor. You know how much Flo makes a year?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I want to meet her because she's hilarious.
But do you know how this is an old attitude that if you're a commercial actor, you can't be taken considered serious as a dramatic or a comedic actor. Do you know how many people, Brad Pitt's level, do commercials all over Europe? All over, I mean, it's just, you'd be surprised. And now, look at it now. Who is selling you cat litter now? Who is selling you insurance now?
Yeah.
Right. Very true.
So that attitude was like misguided, because if you aren't willing to do whatever on your way to your dream, then you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. And I want to tell you something. I did a commercial once. They said, Scotch, it's model pay. And I literally said, I'm not doing anything else. I didn't even know what model's pay was. I just knew it wasn't my rate. Probably the second most lucrative job of my life. It was for Jovan Cologne. Just so happens that it was called What is Sexy? And we had a little bit of a toe wiggling off camera, and it became controversial. Like, they wanted to pull a commercial. Well, it was on the news. When it hit the news, I got a check for it being on the news. When it was on Entertainment Tonight, the controversy, they had to play it. I got paid for that. They turned it into a calendar. They turned it into a billboard. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know. So you're saying no to what? What do you say no to? You know, be smart. Go on, beautiful. Go on, lady.
Oh, you're talking to me, Shamara.
I was gonna say, so do you think, with everything you just said, is it Is it that people just, because they're so focused on the artsy side, right? This is what they do. They love the art piece of it. And the business piece is, again, you know, you have to kind of dive into that to understand like how you're going to be paid, what contracts, what that looks like. Do you think that that's just something that they want to pass off to like a business manager to handle? And so they kind of get bite in the butt in the end because they're not paying attention. What do you typically see happen? And, you know,
Okay.
and I love what you said, that they need to get educated, because I mean, at the end of the day, you are your business, right? And so you need to, you know, take ownership of that. It's your brand.
I try to pay attention to the people that I admire. And I watched Oprah Winfrey once said she signs all the checks. And I thought that's impossible. You can't sign all the checks. But this was a time, this was maybe about 15 or 17 years ago, or even longer. And I thought, oh, she wants to know. Now, someone else is generating those checks. Someone else is licking and stamping those checks, but she wants to know. She's a vested interest in where her money is going and what she's doing with it. I am not, again, not my strong suit. Excuse me. I found a contract. I found a contract that was 2 years old. I'm sorry, an email that was 2 years old that said, "Hey, we would like to close out this contract. Can you please just sign it?" And I was like, what is this? And I looked at it, and I had put some music in a TV show, and the contract was worth $10,000. And I'm like, who agrees and negotiates and forgets to sign that and doesn't go, well, where's that money at? It's crazy. So even I still have to pay close attention. I have accountants, but they set it up so that I know exactly what's going on. And the degree to which I focus, I can find out every single thing that's going on. You know, it makes sense whether you're in this industry or not in this industry,
right?
Just to focus.
How do you think the roles are for, gay and lesbian in the industry today? Do you think they're getting better for, how they're depicting, gays and lesbians in the industry?
Well, I'm watching as much of it as I can with that in mind. I'm very conscious of the roles that are being, and I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I have it makes me sad that we have to have this conversation still, but it's gonna be ongoing for some time now. But I think they're doing really well, and I think what's crazy, it's all about money. It's like, oh, well, we can't put a black girl on the cover of this magazine because we don't want to lose, we don't want to lose the sales for that month. And then they get on the cover and it outsells something else. Then suddenly they've got 3 or 4 more scheduled. It's just one of those things. People there was a time when they didn't want to lose advertisers. And now you've got platforms where the advertisers don't matter. The subscribers matter. So you're seeing a lot more of it because you could literally get somebody like Dove Bar going, you guys have a gay character and it kissed another same-sex person. We're pulling our spots, and that would hurt the show and it would hurt the network, and they were afraid. But now it's not the same. The industry is as we speak, it's changing. So yes, they're getting better. Yes, they're being more broad spectrum. I love all the non-binary and trans stuff that's going on. I think, I've got to be very aware that I live in a bubble. That boy right there, come on. Ugh, what an honor. I enjoyed working with him, both of them actually. I love Doug. I've known Doug forever. But Todrick, I got the call to work with him, and they're like, would you want to play his dad? And I didn't even ask what it was, what it paid. I just said yes, because I feel like he's one of those people, controversial or not, that's doing more good than anything else in this world, including seeing I'm trying to think of a politically correct way to say this, a fluffy girl on America's Got Talent who danced to one of his songs. And so there was 2 things happening in that one moment. She was getting the platform that she deserved for being a really good dancer, and he was getting his music played, which inspired her to move that way. So I just feel like because of the platform shift that yes, there's and if you watch Jeremy's show, and I know you will, you'll see that they have a good representation of all the aspects of queer life that's going on today.
So I want to talk about family, because, you know, it seems that it's because your husband also is in the industry of entertainment, correct?
I think so.
And so, you know, you hear, I mean, that it's, I mean, because I only hear what I see on social media and read. That really keeping a family unit together when you're both in the industry can be very difficult. I mean, it's already difficult when, you know, you're not in the industry, but Hollywood's very critical, and they're like beasts, you know, they watch everything, and they're willing to make you great, you know, as far as putting you out there and you're the best thing on earth. And then they can tear you down a second later, and it's like you did, you know what I mean? It's
one little thing. You can say one little thing or do one little thing, and your career is over.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, first of all, and this might be one of those things that gets people going, is that my husband Todd, who I entered the industry a split second before he did, is on the diversity task force at the DGA. And he is a green-eyed Irish English man who has done so much work. And there he is, that dude. He's done so much work and has accomplished so much that he's helped women, people of color, above and below the line, get so much work that even he has a challenge from time to time getting a job, which is a great thing. And he did it because that's who he is, right? It has nothing to do with me, because I don't have the kind of status that it would make any impact if he was doing anything because of me. He does it because that's who he is. And now he has a family's future to think of. He's the father of these children. So his position, I believe, is quite unique. But as far as like, if you're going basic, like what it's like to have a successful 3-time Emmy, DGA award-winning, Student Academy Award-winning husband, and then me still trying to make it in the business. The challenge is only in that I can't put my career on him. Mm-hmm. That's not cool. I think it all the time. My friend Rain Pryor is developing her show with Norman Lear, and she's so excited. I'm very excited for her, and she's telling me all about it. In the back of my mind, I'm going, ooh, what part am I going to get? What part can I get in this mix? How do I get up in here? But the truth is, my joy for her is what matters the most, because it's what's supposed to happen for her. As far as us as a couple is concerned and our life in the industry, I love when the spotlight's about him and I get to be the bangle on his arm, in my kilt or whatever. I love being his little arm candy once in a while, but it's really not, there's no competition. His success is my success, just vicariously, and vice versa. He's my favorite director to work with, and he's lots of people's favorite director to work with, but that's not because I'm married to him, but he's organized and he's creative and he's generous. He's a generous director. So that's been kind of fantastic, in and of itself.
Do you think that presses you to perform better?
Does he get me to perform better?
For you, directing you, that you have to perform better.
Well, I always perform better when I'm comfortable, always. and he does make me comfortable, but not always. I mean, we've had our moments on the set where I've had to go like, but I just, because I'm comfortable, I think I perform better. But I'm a nervous performer. I get sweaty. I get in my head. I stop breathing. I have called friends from the set my friend Dana DeRay saved me because I hate making mistakes. That's where the perfectionism coming. Dana's a great actor and she's a great coach. And I had to call her from set one day because I flubbed up a line so many times and I yelled the F word really loud. And I thought, now everybody's looking at me. They saw my insecurity. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And Dana helped pull me into this place again where I started to enjoy being on the set again. So it really varies. It varies. Now, Faux Show, the show that I wrote for Kim Coles and Tiffany Haddish, that's probably the most fun I've had in the past 5 years as a director, because not only did I have some talented people around, but Kim is a comedian, so boom, you got that. I knew Tiffany. I'd met Tiffany. Todd cast her for 2 lines in a Funny or Die video, and I said, I don't know who that girl is, but can you invite her to my birthday party? And she said yes, and that started our friendship. I didn't know a thing about Tiffany when I started writing this role for her, and it's turned into a great friendship. And she's super talented. So having her on the set, I would write something, and this is what I loved about her. She would say the line that I wrote, and occasionally she would add something to it that took it to another level, you know?
Yeah, I watched a few of those. She's crazy. She's hilarious. I was watching a few of the trailers on YouTube. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, she's really good in it. And I want to also say that Tiffany's attitude is the best attitude of any person I've probably worked with, as far as success and light, love, and being razor sharp about where they were going. Really clear, Tiffany. And I would have said that before the world knew who she was.
So tell us a little bit about the Scotch and Rain show. What is that all about? Because I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about her.
I do. I want to talk about her because this is a show that we started doing a talk show, but we did not promote it. So, you know, I look at numbers and my ego gets involved, and I know we have a very limited views on that, but we did not promote it. But we shot it right here. This is my office, my home office, Dandelion Studio. But we started a talk show, and because she lives in Baltimore, and it's hard to get her here to shoot episodes. So we'll do like 8 episodes. But I started this with her, and I realized that I had something. And then I jumped ship. I'm like, I don't know how to promote this. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. And this is where I want to admit that I'm still learning, because she was running for city council in Baltimore.
What? Wow.
Yeah, the election was 2 days ago. She lost. She lost.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, yes. I'm so happy she lost. So happy. She did the right thing by showing up, but I am selfish and I want her for myself. And the city of Baltimore still has her, but she will come out here and work, and she's developing her own show, which I think will give the world an opportunity to learn more about what it's like being raised African-American and Jewish in Beverly Hills, and what her life as a biracial person has been like in these states. It's going to be raw and to be very honest. You know, so many assumptions are made about her because she's Richard Pryor's daughter and her legacy and his money, and she's going to set all that record straight. There's so much that's assumed about her. This woman, anything she has, she's gotten on her own. And anything that's coming to her, she deserves because she's generating it, not because she's Richard's daughter. So just one of my favorite people on the planet. So I'm hoping to take our little talk show back and get it up, but this time promote it. You know, do a real promotion and get numbers like you have.
Well, have you thought of a song?
Thanks for the craft services, by the way. I love the fresh raspberries. Here's the thing about this. Okay, no, I haven't thought of a song. I'm struggling because I sing all types of genres. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to sing. Sing a standard. I don't know.
Maybe a
not
romance, or I don't know.
What'd you say?
Romance? I don't know. I don't even know a genre.
Romance? Oh, that's because you're by yourself on the island. You don't need to hear no romance song while you're by yourself on the island and your husband and your okay?
I need the support right now.
Stella ain't got her groove back where you are. Anyway.
Just a couple of lines, right?
Yes.
I'm not singing a whole song, right?
Okay.
No.
Right?
Just a couple lines.
Yeah.
Okay, so my husband's father wrote a song for them when they were children. Over the Rainbow.
I love it.
Pete, I'm so happy you're still here. I'll try to blend that in, but my father-in-law, who's no longer with us, wrote this song for his kids when they were kids. And every live performance that I've ever done since I recorded it, I've ended with this song. And I thought about a man writing a song for his children, and this is one that I would want for my kids. Although I would change the lyrics at the beginning just a little bit. Okay, so here we go. I can't believe this. Okay. You may not be all you'd like to be, neither handsome nor wealthy or bold, but there's one thing you can always be. Here's a message for young and for old.
Wow.
Just be you. There's no one else like you. Just be you in everything you do. In this world of foolish let's pretend, there's one thing on which you can depend. If you're you with all your heart and soul, then one day you're sure to find you'll be happy if you're you.
Wow, that's
it.
That was lovely. That was lovely.
Tearing up. I love it.
Yeah,
that's such an inspirational song.
That's very hard to do.
Yeah. No, you did great.
Well.
All right. And now for the dance.
I'm more motivated now because I'm special.
Now it's your turn, Shamara.
No. That's all I got. You can't even do it.
I love it. Okay, I love it. Okay,
So I just did want to say to the people that tuned in thinking that I was doing a live singing performance, as soon as we're able to, I'm going back into rehearsals to do a nightclub thing. And I would ideally like to have some of my friends, because I have very amazing singer friends. I'd like to do a night of duets with my friends. So I will be singing again. I also have I've gotten better. I've improved as a singer, and I never sing the style. I haven't yet sung the style that I'd like to sing. So there's some R&B stuff I really want to get into live. I pretty much sing standard and straightforward. And thank you for asking. I just want to say that. So.
Oh, I love it. It was great.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy everything now. So I hope this isn't a personal question. I know we're getting close to time, but
what did I tell you before this?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So adoption and how, it wasn't open to people in our lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, how did that come into fruition that you said, you thought as a couple, I want to adopt, and then to know there could be some challenges?
I'm so happy you asked that question, because these are our biological children.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Rose. Those are his biological children. Can't you see? That's why he said, look at the DNA. Look at the two little girls and the boy. Look just like his husband.
So let me explain that to you.
Yes.
We tried to get pregnant for some time, and we were going to adopt as well. We're not opposed to adoption. I love the idea of adoption. I would still adopt more kids if I wanted to be single. I said to my husband, "How do you feel about a fourth baby?" He said, "How do you feel about being a single father of 4?" And I was like, "Oh, and scene." So, hi Jenny. We had a surrogate. We had an amazing woman who turned 40 while she carried these 3 babies, and got us to a very healthy. We were shooting for 32 weeks. She got us all the way to 35 weeks and 4 days. They told us when they weigh 4 pounds, you can take them home. Mm-hmm. She gave us 5'9", 6'3", and 6'11" at birth.
Wow.
At 35 weeks, they were healthy. We feel very, very blessed. You know, we're a spiritual family. We're not religious. We don't attend a church, but we do have incredible spirituality that we amplify all the time. So we were like, God, we know you had faith in us. We didn't know you had that much faith in us, but we love this gift. We were trying for 1 and we got 3.
Yeah.
But we're supporters of surrogacy and adoption and foster adopt. Obviously, being, you know, same-sex parents, we meet a lot of people who are either looking to go this way or have gone this way in any of those fields that I just mentioned. I think it's important. I just read Anderson Cooper's interview in People, and I just want to say one of the things I used to go around saying, advocating quite a bit, was gay people, and he says this. He says this in his own interview. I thought when I was a child, I'm gay, I'll never have kids, and that's where a lot of people hang it up. They just hang it up, or in a lot of people hear this when they, especially my generation, when they came out or were discovered or outed or whatever. I'll never be a grandmother. I'll never be an uncle. Whatever this is what they are told. So a lot of us bite that bullet and then go into survival mode. Okay, I guess that's what it's going to be. I guess I'm just not going to, because you're impressionable. A lot of us, when we come out, and you believe what you're hearing. I ask so many men and women that I've encountered to just revisit what contract you made when it came to being kids. You don't want kids, I get it. Believe me, I get it. But if you want them or you wanted them and it was somebody else's idea that it wasn't going to happen, then just take a look at it. Just go see if it's something that really is what you're about. My life was all about finding somebody who I could love for the rest of my life, setting up a nest, and then filling that nest. Now it's about career, but that's the order that it had to happen in for me, and nothing else was working. Everything else was homework, schoolwork, zhuzhing until I got to this point. So I am a huge advocate of single or same-sex. I know some people are like, well, I've been waiting for the partner, and then they get that child, and then poof, there he is, or there she is. You have to be authentically honest to yourself. I knew when I was 8, I was going to be a parent, and there's no way I was going to leave this planet without parenting, and I love it. I just absolutely love it. So you didn't ask me a personal question. If you still want to, go ahead.
Well, that's so well said, because, I have children, but, I was in a heterosexual, whatever you call it, straight. I don't like labels, by the way. I don't know who made up gay and lesbian. So, but the part where you said, finding someone. And so I've told people who asked me before, but you have kids. And I'm like, I just made a choice. I wanted to be happy. And whatever body that came in or what it looked like, I wasn't going to cut myself short because of a person's stature or sexuality or race or color. I just wanted to find my partner for the rest of my life, which then we could have had children together, but she's never had children. So it made it even better because she loved that when the grandbabies are born, it's like, oh, she loves it. So, I get it.
I think one of the nice things, and I'm not really popular about this COVID thing, is people, their opinions they're living within their own opinions, and the influences that might change how they feel about themselves are not as coming in as often. How do I feel about not coloring my hair? How do I feel about it? Not what society, well, you know, I'm just gonna let it go. And there's some gorgeous gray divas out there, divas and divos. How do I feel about, like, I went out and got packages today in my black cotton boxers. They were underwear, baby. I was like, ooh, you turned into one of those people. I'm like, yes, it feels awesome. Because I go from my front door to get my mail at the gate, and I'm like, oh, what if some, right. It's like, wow, that's a lot of what ifs out there. I'm just being me, just like the song said, just be you, you know? And if kids with a man, kids with a woman, kids by yourself make you happy, it should really be about investigating yourself right now. This is the best. And that's why some people are going crazy.
Right. Because they don't like themselves.
Yeah, they're not living their truth. They're not living their truth.
See what we've been putting up with? Your ass? It's like, so yeah. But I welcome that opportunity.
Their partners. They're so used to being out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. I think a lot of people should really take this time for self-discovery, you know, and refining who you are again and really loving you for you. We're so caught up with what other people think of us. And I think this is really the time for people, because definitely for me, self-discovery is definitely on and popping. And I don't care what people think anymore in life, period. I think it's so freeing to be in that space, you know? So thank you for that. This has been such a great show. Thank you.
I know.
You guys asked. That's all I can say. I'm just so grateful. It's nice to be with delightful people.
I want to thank you for accepting our invitation, because I was shocked when you said, I literally, I thought I had to open up. I wear glasses because my vision sucks. I had to look at my email again and I called Shamara and said, oh my God. He said, yeah. So I have to read it twice to make sure it wasn't spam or somebody, you know, bullshitting me, getting excited when I start marketing you and there was no Scotch Ellis. So, but thank you so much. You were so great to have on the show. And I really hope that, you know, that you really will come. We don't say that, you come back and, you know, share with what else is going on in the future in your life. Because we really would love to be a part of, you know, promoting it or just, you know, just having you on, even just because you want to be on here and sit on here and drink a cup of coffee and we'll just like sit here and watch you. It really was an honor to be invited, and I would love to come back. I would love to come back. Hey, Brian. Thank you for that. That's cool. Yes. Well, anyway, yes. Thank you. So
Thank
for
you.
Everybody who has been, you go ahead, Shamarqua.
No, do your thing. I'm just saying thank you. Thank you so much again. This has been, again, just a great show. Your presence was delightful. I love all the laughter that we had on the show. And it's just been a great show. Thank you.
And so for everybody who has been really continually just following us and listening on one of your podcasts, you know, that you're downloading, you know, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope that those who have not been watching us live, you can go ahead and go to our show page, entrepreneurlife.show, and then you can actually see Mr. Scotch Ellis. You can get a hold of him. All of his like social media stuff is here. His family's so beautiful. They're so attractive. I'm not saying that because you're on here, because they are really good looking. He's married, guys, you know, so, but you can look at him and stuff.
I love window shopping. Window shopping is free. Window shopping is free.
Well, thanks everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again for being on our show. Can't wait to have you back. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Butterscotch.
Bye, everybody.